Ayan mga kaibigan, good afternoon once again sa ating Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season. First of all, I'm GG.Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
Manonood tayo ngayon sa laban sa pagitan ng team Mineski. Ayan, Wargods versus team ng Mineski. Pero bago ang lahat, tignan muna natin ang ating schedule for tonight.
Alright, so we'll have two matches today, of course. Mineski versus Wargods. Both teams will be playing on the blue side and the purple side, changing places on each game. Of course, our first game will be now at 5 p.m. followed by a game around 6 p.m. Alright, so two games today. So far, let's go ahead and take a look at our standings for this season.
And para sa ating standings, ito na mga kaibigan, Imperium Steel 8-8 ang kanilang score dito. Wargods 5-6, TD Sports Manila Eagles 5-8, Diamonds 3-6, at ang ating Mineski 2-6, sa Evo GT 2-6 pala sa mga pagkakataon ito. So far, kung sino manalo sa laban na ito, we'll have another 3 points if ever na manalo sila sa dalawang laban for today.
Alright, so basically Wargods definitely want to win this so that they can secure the first spot in the standings right now, and while Mineski also desperately needing to win these games para makahabol sila dun sa points din sa standings.
So eto mga kaibigan, head-to-head match tayo if ever na meron tayo ngayon, Mineski versus team ng Wargods. So far para sa aking insights lamang sa laban sa pagitan ng team ng Wargods at Mineski, tingin ko magiging head-to-head match natin dito ay sa pagitan ni Kaigu at ng ating mid laner na sa team ng Wargods na si if ever natin sige, it was Trevor na medyo din lahat si Kaigu is a very good player pagdating sa kanyang playstyle sa mid lane. Yes. Nung Manila Eagles pa siya dati, siya yung mid lane ng team MLE at sobrang effective nung kanyang performance sa mid lane dito. Lagi siya lumalamang sa laning phase, lagi siyang ahead sa kalaban niya dito. And ang problema lang doon na nangyayari ay kapag nagkakaroon sila ng mga teamfight dito. On the other hand, for the lineup of Team Wargods, we have Trevor kung saan last time naparoon natin ang laban nila sa pagitan ng Team Manila Eagles versus the Wargods. And even though na napakaganda na performance ito ni Chok in the mid lane, Trevor still have his own way para manalo dito sa laban, especially sa mga teamfight na nangyayari.
Yes, actually nag-roam si Trevor very effectively the early part of the lane. Chok was not very strict to his laning phase and was able to farm pretty well. But because of Trevor's roaming, medyo nakabawi siya dun in terms of gold.
And actually ngayon, for the lineup of Team Mineski, we have Kaigu still in the mid lane, Wendell para sa kanilang jungle, Snowy para sa kanilang top lane or si Snoy, at Shosho for EXO, Jules para sa kanilang support or itong si Sed. Para naman sa lineup of Team Wargods, so far di ba nakikita lahat ang kanilang lineup for today, pero
we have Stronger, Poi, Trevor, who else?
I think it was Ochi.
JLC and Ochi.
Yes. So far for the mid lane of Wargods, like what I've said kanina, si Trevor, very effective player dito. Siyempre, yung playstyle niya na pagiging aggressive in the early part of the game. Pero ang problema nila dito, natin lahat na Mineski ngayon, so far, ang maganda sa kanila, ay bumabawi sila. Nagbago yung playstyle nila ngayon, mas nag-improve sila since yung mga nakaraang laban nila. Nag-umpisa to nung last week lang or nung last week pa sa mga laban nila dito, at talagang naging maganda yung kanilang pag-switch ng roles dito, especially nung ginawa nilang mid si Kaigu. In the bottom lane, sobrang effective nung kanilang playstyle. They won against team ng CM Storm dito or yung Diamonds sa second game nila last week. And I think ang naging problema lang nila nun nung natalo sila ng first game, yung champion pick. Vayne versus Ezreal. Vayne is a very effective champion, especially sa late game. Ang naging problema nila doon, yung support. Actually, support role dito ng kanilang mga kakampi. We have Leona, a very effective champion from the team of Mineski. I mean, sa Diamonds that time. Pag napag-farm ng sobra si Vayne dito, even in the laning phase pa lamang, kaya niyang i-dominate yung buong laban. At kung mapapansin mo yung binuo niyang item dito, Bloodthirster and Phantom Dancer. Hindi siya nagbuha ng Blade of the Ruined King.
Actually, looking at the lineup for both teams naman from Mineski and Wargods, lahat sila very mechanically skilled naman sila lahat. So, actually, it really depends on the team synergy. Like you said, si Mineski, nung first few matches nila in the start of the season, medyo mahina yung team fights nila at doon sila natatalo at nadadali ng mga ibang teams. But like you mentioned, the last week that they played against the Manila Eagles, medyo nag-improve na yung team fighting ng Mineski, and because of that, they have a better chance of getting back into the season.
So far ngayon Wargods versus team ng Mineski, talking about the playstyle of Team Wargods, din lahat na isa silang effective players, especially sa kanilang roles nila. Talagang nagagawa nila ng paraan na mag-sustain yung kanilang laning phase dito. Also, yung objective nila to win the game, to get the dragons, to get the turret, sobrang galing nung kanilang ginagawa dito. Yung synergy nila sa team ay ahead sa iba pang team dito sa ating PGS. Pero ngayon, they're about to go against team ng Mineski. Team Mineski, sobrang unpredictable nila. they're like going to pick a champion na hindi mo ina-expect na kukunin nila. Like before, kinuha nila yung mga champion na, I think it was Kaigo who picked Zed sa mid lane dito. Na usually hindi mo mapapansin ngayon na ginagamit lagi sa competitive scene. I usually saw a champion like si LeBlanc, a champion like si Kasadin Possible, Nidalee, Ziggs, mga champion na ganun. Pero ngayon, Wargods, I think, ang magiging problema nila dito against team ng Mineski ay kapag nagawa sila ng paraan dito sa late game. Mineski sa team na even though lamang sila lagi sa laning phase, dito sila sa pagdating ng objective. Pagdating sa mid game hanggang sa late game dito, hindi nila alam kung paano nila mapupush yung mga lanes dito ng mabilisan. At nahihirapan sila makuha yung mga third tier turrets sa kanilang kalaban, especially mga inhibitor. Pag nagawa ng paraan dito ng Wargods, na early part of the game pa lang, madominate na nila yung team ng Mineski at masecure nila yung kanilang mga objective dito, they can win this game against team ng Mineski.
Yes. Actually, we were talking about a while ago si mid laners, no, si Kaigo at si Trevor. Now, both of these champions are versatile, very big, large champion pools naman. So, it'll be really interesting to see what they'll pull out. Especially si Kaigo, veteran player na siya. Ever since Season 1 pa lang ng mga pro games ng mga Philippines, lagi yung present si Kaigo sa mga teams na yon. Because of that, Kaigo definitely has the experience over Trevor in the mid lane. Including the champion picks, you've seen Kaigo play a ton of different champions na sometimes unexpected picks na pwede talaga gamitin ni Kaigo anytime he wants. Si Trevor naman, we've seen him use a lot of assassin-based champions like LeBlanc and sabit na mention niya a while ago na favorite champion si Zed. So we could actually use a champion who's actually had a few nerfs a few patches ago but is still pretty strong until now.
Medyo mahihirapan dito ang team ng Wargods sa pagpanalo sa laban nila against team ng Mineski. Kaya na sinabi natin dito, objective-wise, Wargods have the advantage. Pero pa problema dito ng team ng Mineski, kailangan nilang gawa ng paraan yung sinasabi kong problema nila na hindi nila masustain yung kanilang advantage hanggang sa late game dito kasi hindi nila masecure yung kanilang objective, just getting, well, alam natin lahat na lagi silang nananalo sa laning phase dito, pero ang nangyayari sa kanila, sobrang tagal nung length ng laban, umabot ng 50 minutes, umabot ng 40 minutes, even yung laban nila sa team ng Mineski dito, I mean sa team naman nila Eagles, sobrang tagal din.
Alright, so actually, if looking, I feel like the thing that Mineski would have to worry about would be probably the jungler and the top lane of a Wargod. So, Stronger and JLC have been performing very well this season. As you've seen, most of the games, sila actually are the reason why Wargods are winning these games. So, definitely, we can expect Wendell and, of course, Noi to have a much difficult lanes in the top and in the jungle. So, let's see if they'll be able to match up to the power that Stronger and he would provide to the further team. Pero
Jay, alam mo, napapansin ngayon sa team ng Wargods, kailangan nilang gawa ng paraan o yung advantage nila sa pag-dominate ng early part of the game dito. For I am looking forward na maban dito si Elise, si Vi for Stronger, and si Lee Sin as well. Pero let's see kung sino yung maban nila dito. Lee Sin na sa champion na sobrang versatile na champion dito. Pwede magawing jungle, pwede magawing top, pwede magawing mid. Kaigo, favorite champion niya si Lee Sin. He even used him once dun sa ating Southeast Asia qualifier na talagang nakita ng sobrang effective niya using Lee Sin dito. And for the next matches na nangyari sa kanila, nakagad si Lee Sin for their team.
Speaking of, actually, Riot is already planning some changes on Lee Sin's kit na medyo in-nerf siya ng konti or iba-balance out yung power niya kasi like you mentioned, Lee Sin can be a tank support, jungle carry, every role you can think of, pwede niyang gawin para sa team niya. And because of that, he's too versatile and his early game is just way too strong compared to other junglers at current meta. So they're deciding to lower his early power and try to shift it to the later game. So right now, syempre, medyo excited na rin ako makita kung ano mangyayari. Pero for now, we'll have to see whether ibaban or gagamitin ng teams ng Mineski and Wargods ang Lee Sin sa game.
Yes, mga kaibigan, sa lahat ng mga naghihintay at naiinis na kung bakit sobrang tagal ng ating pag-start ng game, hinihintay pa natin ng Wargods. At so far nasa lobby tayo ngayon pero hinihintay pa rin natin kung makompleto yung bawat teams dito and then saka tayo makapag-start ng game. And sa lahat ng mga di nakakalam, ang lineup ng Team Mineski ngayon, we have Kaigo for the mid lane, Wendell para sa kanilang jungle, Snowy or si Snowy para sa kanilang top lane, Shosho or si Exo para sa kanilang AD carry, at si Juice or si Zed para sa kanilang support player dito. Pero so far for the team ng Wargods, hindi ba natin makikita lahat? But we have here Stronger and Trevor para sa kanilang lane phase pa rin ngayon. Pero I think it was, we have Jepoy or si Poy, Wargods Poy, we have Wargods Ochi, and JLC as well. JLC is a player na sobrang galing when it comes to the top lane dito. The laning phase advantage niya against his opponent, actually ang nagagawa niya paraan dito kahit sino yung kalaban niya. At hindi ko makakalimutan yung ginawa niyang para siyang pumirma dito sa PGS yung Jax na merong Blade of the Ruined King and then Zephyr as his second item. And then he focused on pushing lanes dito, especially sa paggawa niya ng speed push against his opponent. He have the Ionian Boots, he have the Zephyr, he have the Blade of the Ruin King. Kung saan napapansin mo, kahit na tatlong champion na sumusugod sa kanya, kaya niya patumbayin ito lahat.
Oh, actually, I'm surprised with the build of JLC dito sa Jack nga niya. Kasi medyo, hindi siya yung conventional build. Most of the time, pag tinignan mo yung ibang countries na gumagamit ng Jacks, they normally go Blade of the Ruin King also, Rush, and they follow it with a Trinity Force. Pero si JLC, he rather goes for a larger cooldown reduction and more attack speed with the Zephyr and the Ionian Boost that you mentioned a while ago. Which also brings me to another point that Ionian Boost will also be receiving a nerf in a few patches from now. So,
sobrang daming mga incoming nerfs dito sa ating mga item, especially sa mga champion dito sa ating League of Legends. Pero na naman ang para natin para mabalance talaga yung game natin And actually, I am looking forward sa pagbabago ng mangyayari dito kay Kasadin na medyo talagang magpapabago ng mid playstyle ng mga Kasadin user natin dito sa ating League of Legends. Unfortunately, lagi siyang nababan kasi nga sobrang OP niya. For me, even though he is against a champion na alam natin lahat ng pangkontra sa kanya, like si Zed, champion like si Riven, or champion like si Kha'Zix, kaya niya magawa ng paraan yun kapag mabot siya ng late game.
Yes, definitely. Late game with Kha'Zix is very hard to kill, especially anybody who can kill him even in the early to mid game, he can have answers in the late game. Like for Zed, all he needs to build is a Zonyat, and he'll just automatically counter the ultimate of Zed, and then
especially yung deathmark ni Zed.
Yes, and rift away again. So, well, again, in effect, you can't stop Kha'Zix in the late game.
Yes mga kaibigan. Again, sa lahat ng mga naghihintay, I'm very sorry. Medyo nagkakaroon tayo ng delay dito for the game. Pero nintay lang natin ang team ng Wargods na makumpleto sa ating lobby. Pero bago ang lahat, syempre, pag-usapan muna natin if ever na mawalan ka ng RP, gusto mong bumili ng champion, gusto mong bumili ng skin, anong gagawin mo? Jay, meron tayong tinatawag na e-pins from GameX.
Yes.
Yan. So, e-pins from GameX, alam natin lahat na yung, kung meron kang load, you're smart, TNT or Sun Cellular subscriber,
That's
just
right.
visit epins.gamex.ph. So after mo i-visit yung epins.gamex.ph, you were about to choose the game you are playing. Pipiliin mo syempre, we are playing League of Legends. So after nun, choose the shell denomination you want. And after nun, click add to cart. And
That's
after
right.
mo mag-click add to cart, lalagay mo yung number mo, yung Smart, TNT, and Sun Cellular subscribers. Lalagay mo yung mobile number mo and then you will receive the confirmation code.
That's right.
You will send it to 3161 and then makuha mo ng e-pins mo. Sobrang dali mga kaibigan. Gamitin mo lang yung load mo, makabili ka na ng Garena shells mo or ng RP mo for the League of Legends para makabili ng skins or ng champion or runes or rune pages para sa yung champion.
That's
or pag
right.
gusto mo mag-change name. Diba?
Yeah, so if you're interested in learning more about it, just go to the GameX website and dun lahat naman ng details tsaka instruction on how to use this great feature coming from Smart. So thank you Smart again for giving us this great feature and of course sponsoring us for this PGS season, spring season 2014, as well as Raider. Thank you very much Raider for providing our peripherals, our gaming keyboard, mouse, and mousepad, including this wonderful headset that we're using right now.
Sa lahat mga kaibigan, mukhang magkakaroon na tayo, mag-start ng ating game ngayon. Ang match din Team Mineski versus Team ng Wargods mga kaibigan, pero hinintay pa natin na mag-start ang ating game. Eto na mga kaibigan. So wakas, mag-start ang ating game ngayon. Banning face tayo, ang match din Team Mineski versus Team ng Wargods. Eto na pinakahintay nating start ng game.
Yeah, so today on the blue side for the first game we'll have Mineski. Of course, their mid laner will be Mineski Kaigu. Their jungler will be Mineski Wendell. Their top laner will be Mineski Snowy. Their bottom lane will be Mineski Exo, and Mineski Jules. Alright, on the purple side now, we have Wargods Trevor to be their mid laner. Wargods Stronger will be their jungler. JLC will be their top laner. And Ochi and Poi will be their bottom lane duo.
Nakakatakot dito si JLC. Binuo na niya ang kanyang pangalan. John Lloyd Cruz na mga kaibigan.
Galit
Wargods John Lloyd Cruz. Makikita niya nga ba dito si Basha or mga kaibigan, first ban of Team Mineski, Elise. Sa gaya na sinabi natin dito, first ban for Team ng Mineski, they are aware kung gaano kagaling si Stronger sa paggamit ng Elise dito. A very effective champion. The burst damage, the stun, the disable from his opponent, against his opponent, especially yung pag-steal niya, gamit yung kanyang rappel dito sa mga laban na mangyayari. Lulu on the other hand is a very good choice, especially sa mga ban nila dito, for Trevor. Well, Chok is a very, is a player na magaling gumamit ng Lulu sa mid lane. And siguro legacy, like he is the brother of Chok. Trevor is the brother of Chok, so they are aware na possible na maging champion to counter their strategies na mangyayari against their opponent. And especially sa bottom lane, Poi, hindi ko siya nakita gumagamit ng Lulu dito. And I doubt na gagamitin nila si Lulu for the bottom lane. support yung kanyang teammate na si Ochi.
Yes, and Lulu's a very good pick for Wargods if ever they do get to pick it up. Since both John, Lloyd, and Stronger like to pick champions that like to dive into team fights, and because of that, with the Lulu, of course, wild growth, that definitely helped Wargods win those team fights.
Yes, mga kaibigan, for the last ban of Team Mineski, we have LeBlanc, and for the Wargods, Kale, para sa kanilang last ban, a champion na kahit na sinong assassin ay aayawan. You have Kha'Zix for your lineup. You have a champion like si LeBlanc. You have a champion like si Akali. Kapag may Kale ka, protektado ka. For mga kaibigan, for the first week of Team Mineski dito, they have Kha'Zix. On the other hand, for Team ng Wargods, they're thinking kung sino yung dalawang champion nila. But looking at the pre-picks of our players, mukhang pupiliin nila dito si Morgana and si Lee Sin. Yes, mga kaibigan, they changed to Vi. Vi is a very effective champion. Yung kanyang Volt, assault and battle against his opponent, especially yung kanyang Volt Breaker. The fact na kaya mong pumasok inside dito sa loob ng kanyang mga pang-initiate against your opponent, ang gagawin mo lang dito ay para manggulo.
Yes.
Bukod sa kaya niya magbigay ng bukod sa pag nag-focus siya sa kanyang tanky items dito, like getting yung kanyang Spirit of the Ancient Golem, getting the items like yung kanyang Ninja Tabi, or item like alam niya makapag-secure ng kanilang objective of ganking lanes dito, especially sa pagtulong sa pagkuha ng mga dragon or baron sa laban nila.
Yes, and actually Vi's base damage at the early levels is very high, so
yes,
he can provide a lot of early damage, especially if he ganks within level 2 and level 3. So we expect definitely Vi to make some big plays at the early level. Of course, Stronger doing very well on Vi this season, doing several smite kills even with the Vi as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he'll perform in this game.
And actually, a very good champion pick for Team Mineski dito. If ever na ito yung kukunin nila si Vayne and si Janna. Janna is a champion na alam natin lahat na with this monsoon. Kaya niya mapalayo lahat ng kalaban dito. Mag-disengage lahat ng team members of Wargods. And we all know na sa lahat ng champion na may pang gap losing ability, ayan ang champion na pinakaayaw mong kakalabanin.
Yes.
If ever, example, yan, si Stronger or itong si Vi. If ever na mag-initiate siya with his Volt Breaker or using his assault and battery against his opponent, with just one monsoon, especially yung shield niya na kaya ibigay dito kay Vayne or kay kay EXO sa mga teamfight na mangyayari dito, sobrang effective against your opponent. Ang maganda pa dito sa kanyang shield or yung kanyang third skill for Janna dito, bukod sa merong shield yung kakampi, meron pa siyang damage na makukuha from that shield na binigay mo.
Yes. Alright, so it looks like Wargods will respond with the Severe. Actually, I'm thinking Mineski may pick up a Wukong this game. That'll also be another way to protect the Vayne while she's doing her free hitting, of course. And of course, to stop the dive composition coming from Wargods right now. As you can see, Severe and Vi are very strong divers, including if they ever do decide to pick up Riven, is somebody who wants to be in your face in the team fight. And of course, Janna and of course Wukong will be great ways to prevent them from coming into the team fight.
It was Wukong yung ginamit dito ni Wendell nung mga laban nila last time or last week against team ng Diamonds dito, or if I'm mistaken, it was Diamond, right? Or
yes, I believe so.
Ang ginawa nila dito, I think it was against team ng Manila Eagles
last week, yes.
Or team ng anyway, whoever that yung kalaban nila that time, ginamit dito ni Wendell si Wukong, a very effective champion against their opponent. Ang ginagawa nito, yes, tama, it was against team ng Manila Eagles dito. Ang ginagawa dito ni Mr. Mineski Wendell ay every time na magkakaroon ng mga team fight, pumapasok siya sa maraming members of team ng Manila Eagles dito. And with that, napakagandang performance coming from his champion dito sa paggamit niya ng Cyclone, nasa-zone out niya lahat ng kalaban. At that gave them the advantage of winning the game dito against team members of the MLE.
Yes, actually this is interesting. Look at what they did. Wargods picked up Annie and Morgana. Both the champions used to be traditionally played in the mid lane, are now more popular at the support at the bottom lane. But since he picked up both champions, it'll be very interesting to see which of those two champions will be the ones that will be going to the bottom lane. Could it be Morgana bot or Annie bot? In my opinion, I feel like it will probably be more of an Annie bottom lane. But at this point right now, pwede talaga siya i-switch around.
And actually, with that kind of lineup, we have Annie and Morgana dito. Both the champion can be a champion for support, especially for the mid lane. So, possible na mag-switch sila dito ng kanilang mga roles kung ano yung mapag-isipan nila sa makakukunin na champion dito ng Team Mineski. Pero mga kaibigan, ito yung sobrang tricky sa playstyle ng team ng Wargods dito.
Yes.
They usually pick champion na pang bait against your opponent. Ginawa nila last time sa game against team ng Manila Eagles dito. They picked Lulu for the first pick dito, but that champion ay para i-bait lamang kanilang kalaban.
Yes, that's right. So, Mineski showing already their mid laner. I think it's gonna be Gragas in the mid lane, Kha'Zix in the jungle, Renekton on the top lane, and then of course Vayne and Janna the bottom lane. Now, in my opinion, I feel like it's gonna be Annie. Is Annie going to be in the top lane? I think Annie is going to be played in the top lane by JLC. This is going to be very interesting going against a Renekton. Now, of course, Annie will have the advantage of early burst damage in the first few levels, but as soon as Mineski Snoy on the Renekton hits level 6, I feel like he'll have a hard time dealing with Annie, especially in the later part of the laning match.
Ang maganda rito ang laban sa pagitan ng team Wargods versus ng Mineski dito na top lane. Snoy versus Jungle Cruz. The champion picks, Renekton versus Annie. Alam natin lahat na yung advantage dito for Snoy ay yung kanya pagiging tanky na sa champion dito. Sustain niya against his opponent, especially yung kanya pag-clear kagad ng minion. But, if ever he will go against an AP champion dito, kaya ba niyang gawa ng paraan yung pagguwa ng CS dito na maayos against his opponent? Pero, when it comes to the playstyle of Snoy, sobrang galing niyang mag-sustain ng kanyang laning phase dito. Sobrang galing niyang i-secure yung kanyang objective sa kanyang laning phase. At kahit igang siya ng dalawang champion dito, kaya niyang makapatay kahit isa and then disengage. Or possible na if ever na mamatay siya, he can just at least bring one more champion para isama niya sa hukay.
That's right.
Which is very effective para sa kanya. A very good playstyle pag top laner ka talaga.
Yes, actually, Trevor picking up the Yasuo should have not a hard time with Gragas. Of course, barrel rolls coming from Gragas would hit Yasuo, but Yasuo can always have a shield every so many seconds when he walks around, building up his win bar. Now, of course, they're both melee champs, so they both have to go in melee range to last hit the minions. So it'll be really interesting to see how Trevor utilizes the skill kit of Yasuo over the Gragas in this lane.
So kailangan niya gawa ng paraan dito yung early advantage niya against his opponent. Ito naman yung second napanood ko dati sa laban sa ating IEM. It was a match between team Fnatic, or if not second, it was team KTB na gumamit ng Yasuo mid lane versus kay I think it was against a champion na si Lulu. And alam natin lahat na mahirapan dito si Yasuo against a champion na sobrang galing or sobrang may advantage when it comes to the poke damage na kanya ibigay sa kanya kalaban. Pero sobrang nagawa ng paraan to ni Yasuo. Ang ginawa niya dito, sinustain niya yung kanyang laning phase. Sobrang aggressive niya yung kanyang playstyle dito. And binantayan siya ng sobrang ng kanilang jungle dito. So what Team Wargods have to do sa laban na to ay kanilang bantayan yung laning phase, especially sa mid lane. Gragas is champion na with this barrel roll, with yung kanyang body slam dito, kaya niya i-chunk down yung damage, kaya niya bigyan ng damage output against si Trevor dito na hindi makapag-farm ng maayos Trevor. Pero nakadepende sa kanilang playstyle kung paano nila i-secure yung kanilang advantage sa winning sa laning phase dito against your opponent, kung paano nila may ipapanalo yung pagkuha ng CS nila, especially pag kill ng mga champion nila sa laban na to.
Yes, and you have to be a little bit careful, especially since Kha'Zix yung jungler ng Mineski, and of course, with the leap coming from Kha'Zix, he should be able to get within range to deal a lot of damage to burst through the shield of Yasuo. Of course, Yasuo is very mobile, and he could probably escape that. Hopefully, he's able to ward properly to avoid any incoming ganks from the Kha'Zix.
A very interesting for Team Mineski dito, getting the Clairvoyance para sa summoner spell ng ating support. Namatay itong Clairvoyance after no season 1 natin, kung saan dati usually pick a champion like nung season 1 I think yung bottom lane natin dito dalawang bruiser champion sa bottom lane natin or sa top lane, and ngayon laging uso pa dati yung clairvoyance na to.
Yes, especially for checking Baron kasi ay nila mag-face check ng Baron, pero since nauso yung mga trinkets, ayun medyo nawala na rin yung clairvoyance, and parang they rather go for spells like Ignite. They'll deal more damage in the laning phase.
Pero since alam natin lahat na he is using Janna, a very effective champion, especially sa laning phase dito, hindi niya na kailangan siguro na maglagay ng maraming wards kasi I think they are more on kampante sila na kaya nila ipanalo yung laning phase nila without that Ignite, without that damage output against their opponent. So I think Team Mineski in the bottom lane, itong si EXO at si Sid, ang gagawin nila dito ay mag-play safe lang muna against their opponent. Pero yes, since they are using Vayne and Janna for their champion, usually mga champion na makikita mong magiging aggressive dito, si Caitlyn, champion like si Draven, yung mga champion na mas malaki yung range nila against their opponent. Pero mga kaibigan, Vayne versus Sphere in the bottom lane, who do you think we dominate the early team fight dito, especially sa mid game natin?
Definitely Sphere and Morgana would have a stronger early level 1 to 5. But I have a feeling because of that fact that you just mentioned, it's not impossible that Mineski might go for a lane swap. Now, they'll put the Janna and Vayne in the top lane. Of course, nothing guaranteed yet, especially if they want the Vayne to more effectively, the lane swap would be in their favor, especially since they can push the lane harder compared to Sphere and Morgana against the Annie.
Yes, mga kaibigan. For the lineup of Team Wargods, dito we have Yasuo, Vi, Annie, Sphere, and Morgana. On the other hand, for Team Mineski, we have Gragas, Kha'Zix, Renekton, Vayne, and Janna. Looking at the lineup, 5 versus 5 team fight dito, I would give the early game advantage dito for the team of Wargods. Siyempre, we have the Vault Breaker from Vi, we have the stun coming from Annie, we have the the damage output from Sphere, and especially disable from Morgana dito. But Team Mineski, on the other hand, if ever na mapatagal na ito yung laban na to, they have Gragas as an AP champion dito.
Yes.
Burst damage against their opponent. Janna, on the other hand, with the support na kanya ibigay against with his teammate dito, with that shield, with that monsoon, especially si Renekton, yung pagiging tanke niya dito. Kha'Zix, a very assassin champion, a very effective champion dito, especially sa kanyang assassin skills. Pero ito na mga kaibigan, game muna tayo ngayon, match between Team Mineski versus team ng Wargods. At ito isa sa mga pinakahihintay natin laban. If ever na manalo ang team ng Wargods dito, makakuha sila ng 3 points. Kung dalawang laban na ang panalo nila ngayong laban na to at saka yung mamaya against Team Mineski ulit, they will have 3 points. If ever na matalo sila dito, wala silang points na makukuha. Kung manalo sila mamaya, they will have 1 point once again. Pero sa konting oras na lang natin for the PGS, I think Mineski, ang kailangan nilang gawin dito ay at least bumawi ng kanilang pagkapanalo against their opponent sa mga laban.
Yes.
But Team Wargods have to win this game kung gusto nilang manalo sa PGS.
Actually, I kinda like Mineski's lineup personally. Para mas feeling ko it's more of a safer lineup compared to Wargods. Although Wargods has always been picking out these types of compositions that don't really make sense on the first look, but the way they play, their playstyle seems to fit the way they're picking their champions, and because of that, they're always winning most of their games. Now, as long as Wargods can continue that and playing as a team and properly, they should have no problems taking down Mineski in this game. Now, of course, Mineski seem to have a stronger late game, especially if they can farm the Vayne properly and give her an early advantage. They should be able to win this game in the later parts of the game.
Ito pa isang maganda for team ng Wargods. Sobrang unpredictable nila. Picking Annie for the top lane, do you think it's kind of unusual na makita natin dito na you will use Annie in the top lane dito? Well, yes, she is an effective champion, especially yung kanyang burst damage against his opponent. Pero mga kaibigan, he's about to go against Renekton dito. We all know na Renekton ay champion na sobrang laki ng kanyang HP dito, especially if ever na kumuha siya ng kanyang Spirit Visage as his early item like Banshee's Veil. Wala nang magagawa dito si JLC. So, JLC, what you have to do dito ay gumang kagad sa ibang lane, especially kapag umabot siya ng level 6 kagad. At that would give Snowy a chance once again na mag-push ng mid lane or ng top lane dito, getting the first tier turret, getting the second tier turret, at hayaan lamang na mag-gank dito si John Lloyd Cruz. So ito yung advantage ng mga champion na walang manang ginagamit sa laning phase nila. Shyvana, we have Renekton, mga champion na to, every time na iiwan sila sa laning phase, kayang gumank dito na ibang members. Kaya nila i-push yung kanilang lane dito as early as possible.
Yes, alright. So it looks like 4 members of Wargods are now grouping here in the mid lane, or 3 members are grouping here in the mid lane, where the AD carry and the support will be proceeding down to the bottom lane. Doesn't look like there will be an early invade yet, but there are some pings coming off from Wargods, as you can see, trying to decide what they want to do at the early part of the game. Now, Kaigu and Trevor have already spotted out each other here in the mid lane right now, and they're just taunting each other a little bit. As you can see, Mineski, EXO, and Wendell are grouped together here. Stronger guarding the bush to his jungle right now, and looks like Boy was able to use his
the performance ng Wargods Boy dito. Utilizing his skills, especially yung kanyang item dito, kung saan nagbibigay sa kanya ng 5 gold every time tumama siya ng kanyang normal hit ng kanyang skill sa champion, or gumamit siya ng skill, atakihin niya yung mga turret dito. So with that item,
yes,
I think for the bottom lane, Wargods versus team ng Mineski dito, they will go for the aggressive playstyle dito sa bottom lane. Especially they know na hindi ganun ka-effective si Vayne kapag early team fight, or kapag early game pa lamang, wala pa siyang level 6, wala pa siyang final R, or like halimbawa, wala pa siyang skills dito. In the bottom lane, unahan lang yan sa pag level 2.
Yes.
If ever na mauna kayo mag-level 2, grab the chance, gank the bottom lane, or siguraduhin nyo na makakuha agad kayo ng first load in the bottom lane dito. Kasi, dalawang skill ang mga gamit nyo. Every champion may dalawang skill. Pero sa kanila, tig-isa lang sila. So, yun ang magiging mahirap para sa kanila.
Yes, that's right. So, it looks like Mineski will not go for the lane swap. They will deal with the severe Morgana here in the bottom lane. Now, both supports from Wargods and Mineski are very defensive support champions right now. As you can see, we've got the Dark Binding from Morgana, and of course, the Spell Shield, and of course, the Tormented Sword that was the first skill picked up by Wargods boy. Now, here in the top lane, we've got John Lloyd versus Snoy, Renekton versus Annie. This is probably the first time I've ever seen an Annie go against a Renekton on the top lane. So this would be really interesting to see how JLC will pull this off.
Yes. Actually, nagawa ko na ito isang beses. I used Ari in the top lane against sa Renekton at sobrang naging effective ako dahil sa gank na ginawa sa akin ng aking jungler dito. Nahirapang manalo sa laning phase sa Renekton because of the because of the gank coming from my teammate. Nagbigay sa akin ng advantage during the laning phase. So I think, gaya na sinabi ni kanina, Wargods have to secure yung kanilang early objective or yung kanilang early advantage against your opponent, especially sa top lane dito. For JLC to farm ang his opponent. Especially, alam niyo nating lahat na itong si Renekton ay may slight advantage against his opponent kasi hindi siya gumagamit ng mana. And yung sustain niya in the laning phase, another advantage for him sa laban niya against kay Annie dito.
Yes. Alright, so EXO looks like doing a really good job of forcing the members bottom lane of Wargods back. As you can see, he's in lead of CS right now by about 5 CS. And Kaigu already using some of his spots here just to sustain against Wargods Trevor on the Yasuo.
For the bottom lane, I think looking at the playstyle ngayon ng Team Wargods, nahirapan silang gawin yung sinasabi ko kanina, pagiging aggressive against their opponent. Kasi with that advantage, mga kaibigan, a good job from Trevor dito, having to dive in for Wendell. But Wendell still chasing Trevor dito. Trevor goes down with that flash in the last hit. The taste their fear dito. A very good job for Team Mineski, ganking the mid lane at pag-burn ng flash down for Trevor.
Yeah, so Wargods Trevor going very aggressive on Kaigu. He didn't realize that actually Wendell was really just waiting in the wings to gank him, and because of that, good effort coming from Trevor trying to escape the gang of Wendell, but it just was not enough to escape the damage coming from the Catholics this time around.
Ang naging problema dito sa bottom lane ng Team Wargods against team ng Mineski, I think because of that shield coming from Jana dito or kay Jules or kay Sed, ang nangyayari dito, hindi sila nakakagawa ng paraan or team ng Wargods dito para magbigay ng damage output kay Vayne lamang. Kasi actually, even though ginagamit ni EXO dito si Vayne, si AD carry champion, with that shield, with that damage output, with the damage addition from that skill na shield na binibigay dito ni Sed, hindi na masabayan ng Team Wargods dito. At kailangan pang i-secure ni Po yung pagtama ng kanyang Dark Binding against his opponent kasi kung hindi tumama to, hindi sila makakapatay ng champion dito. Pero mga kaibigan, Stronger still chasing a champion sa bottom, sa jungle, but he's about to go down dito. He ignited from Kaigu. He's being chased mga kaibigan for top lane. John Lloyd Cruz still having a hard time dito. He have to drop that ward. Tuloy-tuloy with Snoy dito. Snoy still chasing John Lloyd Cruz sa top lane dito. Ignited mga kaibigan. Makakatakas nga ba siya dito or mabuhay nga ba siya with that ignite? But yes, naligtas siya dito for the top lane. Very good job for JNC. Ito yung maganda dito kay Annie. Yes, meron siyang mana ginagamit sa against his opponent, but sobrang nagbibigay sa kanya ng advantage dito ay yung kanyang passive skill. Na every time na nakapatay siya ng minion, lahat ng mana na ginamit niya or yung mana na ginamit niya for that skill na bumatay sa minion, malaragyan lang niya.
That's right.
Babalik lahat yun. So, kaya niya bigyan ng poke damage yung kanyang kalaban na top lane without worrying sa pag-ubos ng kanyang mana dito.
That's correct. Alright, so Annie picking up a second Orange Ring, including a Ruby Crystal, probably gonna go for that early Rod of Ages to get a little bit tankier.
Possible na he will go for the Rod of Ages, pero take note, is going against a champion na sobrang tanky. So, possible din na kumuha siya ng hunting guys as his item.
Alright, so it'll be interesting to see where Annie decides to go with her build right now. Of course, she has the early advantage, having a few CS advantage over Renekton, including picking up a first kill over him. Now, of course, Renekton has decided to go pick up an early Negatron to mitigate some of that damage coming from Annie's poke damage, of course. So we'll have to see how, once level 6 happens, I'm sure one of these members will become very aggressive, especially with a gank coming from the jungler. Right, so there you go. As you can see, John Lloyd Cruz dropping his timbers right away and following up with his 2 spells. Snoy deciding to back away. He can't anymore go head toe to toe with John Lloyd. Will have to regenerate some of that HP under his turn and wait for Wargods John Lloyd Cruz to push the tower minion to his tower.
Alam mo ito, magandang magandang playstyle dito from John Lloyd Cruz. He's not hesitant pagdating sa kanyang advantage sa top lane dito. Hindi siya ganon na nag-worry sa pag-cooldown ng kanyang mga skills. Ginamit niya kagad yung T-burst niya, even though hindi siya sure na mapapatay niya si Snoy. Pero with that early advantage na ginagawa niya dito, hindi na nakapag-farm ng maayos si Snoy sa kanyang laning phase. Mapapansin mo, napilitan kumuha kagad ang Negatron Cloak dito. Si Snoy against si Point kasi natin lahat. With that magic resist, I think it's around 40. Yes, 40 magic resist para sa kanyang champion. Malaking bagay na yun actually against sa kanyang opponent.
Yeah, Kha'Zix now invading the jungle and steals the blue out of Stronger. Stronger having no chance of smiting it. Had to give it up over to Kha'Zix and
I think
blue steal.
medyo nagkaroon ng problema sa Stronger that time kasi meron siyang smite. It's not on cooldown. So I think medyo wala siya na problem that time as getting his own blue buff dito. Very good job especially kay Wendell. Invading that jungle buff for Stronger.
I think he was just surprised that Kha'Zix suddenly jumped in
possible.
from nowhere and his life was very low. He had to back away from that blue buff, and because of that, Kha'Zix was able to lay a lot of damage. As you can see here now, EXO doing a lot of damage to Poi right now, knocking him against the wall. Good thing there was no ward there, he couldn't follow up on the damage, and now Mineski EXO being on the aggressive right now. Ochi of course has his spell shield and the black shield coming from Garena, negating most of the spells coming from Janna.
Kaibigan, in the bottom lane, still Ochi versus their opponent dito. Medyo ahead si EXO sa konting CS against kay Ochi. And I think, ang nagpapahirap na lang sa kanila ay kung paano yung playstyle ng Team Mineski in the bottom lane dito.
Yes, alright, so Kaigo picks up the blue buff for himself. Much needed blue buff, especially going to get a champion without any mana. He should be able to continue his farm. As you can see, he's slightly ahead of Yasuo just by about 1 minion right now, and probably a few more since Yasuo had to go back to base to pick up another item. Yasuo decided to pick up the Zeal first instead of the Avarice Blade for more gold income. So we'll have to see how he builds into his static shift. He should still have no problem since he's doing pretty well against the Gragas right now.
Alam mo, mahirap dito para kay Trevor ay isa lang yung champion na meron sila or dalawang champion lamang sila na merong airborne skills dito. We have Vi and Yasuo. And I think balak siguro nilang kunin si Janna as their support champion, pero naunahan sila dito ng Team Mineski. And looking at the lineup, mga kaibigan, initiate na kayo Mineski from the mid lane. Dito Wendell with that early evolution of his Void Assault, mga kaibigan. Isa na naman tong medyo bago-bago and I think it was Insect na gumawa nito sa IEM na pag-upgrade kagad ng kanyang Void Assault sa mga laban. Pero mga kaibigan, nagkakit na mid lane dito Trevor na hanap ang kanyang buhay. He was ignited by Kaigo. Kaigo got the life of Wargods. Trevor dito sa mid lane. And yet, with that clairvoyance, kita nila kung saan pupunta si Stronger dito. And I think that's the reason why they pick clairvoyance, mga kaibigan, in the mid lane dito. Jared goes gacking Kaigo with that burst damage from Jared goes, mga kaibigan. He goes down, pero Wendell trying to initiate two champion of Team Wargods in the mid lane. About to get the life of Mineski. Wendell, mga kaibigan, he's taking so much damage, and yes, double kill for Annie in the mid lane. And I am thinking kung ano yung runes na meron dito or masteries for Janet Cruz. I think meron siyang cooldown reduction dito. Sobrang bilis nung kanyang paggamit ng Incinerate dito against his opponent.
Yes, JSC being liking cooldown reduction a lot, as you can see even on his Jack. He decided to go for a very high cooldown reduction champion. As you can see, 20% cooldown reduction, 10% from the blue buff, and another 10% from his skills and masteries.
Yes.
So he probably picked up 5% cooldown reduction on his
masteries.
Blue gills, and then probably another 5 from his masteries.
So mga kaibigan, in the bottom lane is Mineski getting that, they're still doing their job sa pag-dominate sa bottom lane dito. Wargods, Ochi, and Poi in the bottom lane can't do anything na mag-responde sa ginagawang performance dito ng team Mineski in the bottom lane. Pero mga kaibigan, Wargods have to switch their lanes para dalhin sa mid lane itong si John Lloyd Cruz sana, or talagang dito nila kanilang kalaban dito. Pero mga kaibigan, sila bottom lane looking at the CS advantage for EXO dito. Ochi taking so much damage, mga kaibigan. EXO able to get the life of one champion of Team Wargods ito. Yes, they have to disengage sa bottom lane.
That's right. He took 2 tower shots just now trying to chase down Ochi, and decided it wasn't really worth it to dive him because he felt that he probably would go down even if he picked up the kill. Alright, so Wendell again being very aggressive here in the blue jungle of the golem of Wargods stronger right now. Looking, he wanted to pick up the blue buff for a second time around. As you can see, he's bullying out Wargods stronger from his own blue buff. Looks like he's gonna pick up the golem for himself, and probably stronger will pick up the large rate in the meantime.
Yes mga kaibigan, looking at the lineup of Team Mineski versus the Wargods dito, even though nakikita natin yung lamang ng CS itong si Snoy against si Subuan at si John Lloyd Cruz, kita-kita natin ngayon sa score nitong si John Lloyd Cruz having the 3-0 against si Subuan. Pero mga kaibigan, in the bottom lane, Wargods stronger, trying to gank dito, 2 champion from Team Mineski, but they have to disengage mga kaibigan. Dark Bite from Wargods point dito, in the bottom lane, he was exhausted, with a spell immunity, will he be able to secure his own life mga kaibigan in the bottom lane, but they have to disengage. Ochi, without his mana, they can't respond sa performance of Team Mineski in the bottom lane dito, dominating sa mga pag-gank na nangyayari from team ng Wargods. So I think it's a counter-gank.
Both Ochi and Jana had no more mana, so they couldn't fight that.
Yes,
Team Mineski
John Lloyd Cruz mga kaibigan, doing so much
Cruz.
damage against 2 champion of Team Mineski dito. He's almost getting the life of 1 champion, especially si Kaiko dito, but yes, the burst damage coming from their team, and with that drunken rage na naka-active for Kaigu, it's not enough to get the life of 1 champion of Team Mineski.
Yes, that's right. Alright, so we're back here in the bottom lane right now. As you can see, no kills or even assists coming from many members from the bot lane. Wargods stronger, clearing out the ward, spotted by the clairvoyance of Jana, deciding to back away after picking up, of course, his blue buff, and decided to stick around after the clairvoyance disappeared.
Kaibigan, in the bottom lane still, Wargods trying their best to get a life of a champion from Team Mineski dito. But looking at the scores, 0-0-0 pa rin ang score natin in the bottom lane. Wala pa ganong advantage dito. And so far, in the bottom lane, wala pang gank na nagsasucceed dito from the jungles. Pero mga kaibigan, in the mid lane, he was stronger, have to use his assaulted battery to get the life of Kaigo dito. Yes, that assaulted battery tumama dito. Ang last read, yung S dito ni Trevor in the mid lane.
Yes, so Wargods finally executing the combo that they've been planning all day long. As you can see, chaining the ultimates of Stronger, of Vi and Yasuo together, being able to pick up the kill against the Gragas, should allow Yasuo to get back into the game in the mid lane. Right now, he's a little bit behind in terms of items. As you can see, Gragas already has the themes on Holy Grail. Of course, with that kill pickup coming from Yasuo, he's able to complete his static shift, should give him a little bit burst of more power, allowing him to perform or duel better with the Gragas.
I think itong advantage for Gragas sa kanyang mid laning phase against his opponent dito, even though he's an AP carry champion against an AD carry champion, hindi siya ganun na kailangan kumuha ng armor. Kasi with that drunken rage alone, malaki na yung bigay sa kanya na buffs sa kanya pagiging tanky champion dito in the mid lane. And yes, even though he's an AP carry champion, he can be a tanker as well sa mga nangyayari dito, especially habang tumatagal yung laban.
Alright, so Gragas drinking a little konting alak dyan, as you can see, trying to get a little bit tankier again as usual. Like you said, the damage reduction coming from that drunken rage is very high at level 5, and I think he's already leveled it up to about level 4 at this moment. So he should have no problem dueling with Yasuo the rest of the game.
Mga kaibigan, in the top lane, Wargods, John Lloyd Cruz trying to get the life of Snoy dito. With that Tiber's hit missed, mga kaibigan, hindi tumama dito. Guys, Snoy in the top lane, pero with the early spectrals calls para sa kanyang item, I think ito yung magbibigay sa kanya ng advantage to at least sustain yung damage output from Wargods JRC in the top lane dito. At kung mapapasin mo, lamang siya sa early game, pero ngayon nahirapan siya sustain yung kanyang laning phase or yung kanyang laning advantage against his opponent dito kay Snoy. Pero mga kaibigan, nagkasalubong dito si Wendell at si Stronger sa jungle, but with that Vault Breaker, medyo naharangan siya ng malaking puno-punuan dito sa ating red buff for the team of Mineski. 3-4 ang ating score in favor of team ng Wargods pa rin sa mga pagkakataong ito, at sobrang tikit ng ating laban. Hindi pa natin alam kung sino mananalo sa laban na ito. Looking at the scores, I think numbers show na makikita natin yan dito na Wargods still have the advantage sa laban nila against their opponent since they got the first dragon of this match. Pero mga kaibigan, Kaigu, nangyari ba kanyang buhay dito? Trevor trying to chase 1 champion of Team Mineski, but they have to disengage dahil sobrang lumalalim na siya sa laban na to.
Yes, alright, so right now, Wendell trying to make something happen here in the bottom lane, but because of the excellent warding coming from Wargods, as you can see, maraming wards nakalagay dun sa mga bushes dun sa bottom lane, hindi makapasok na maayos dito si Wendell, and Mineski Juice now spotting a pink ward here. Stronger might just have to engage Juice here. As you can see, with the backup comes from Kaigu. Stronger decided to back away.
I am thinking that he will use, yes mga kaibigan, with that assault and battery getting the life of one champion. Ginamit niya ngayon ang explosive kasi niya. That gave Team Wargods a chance to disengage ito laban na to. Wargods stronger. Yes, he was able to escape in that team fight mga kaibigan. And they're about to get the second dragon of this match. If ever naman punta sa kanila to, mag-snowball na naman ang kanilang mga items. Getting the advantage sa laban nila against team ng Mineski. With that clairvoyance, di nila nakita kung ano nangyari doon. Pero it was once again for the advantage of team ng Wargods. Yun ang nangyari team fight na yun.
Yes, so now a 1k gold lead again for Wargods because of the dragon, of course. Right now, the dragon is still not giving that much gold since it's still medyo early pa in the game. So, of course, as the game progresses, as long as they can continue to pick up the dragon, they should go pull ahead in terms of gold, in total team gold. Right, so Snoy trying to catch John Lloyd Cruz here, uses the flash to stun John Lloyd. John Lloyd, unable to chase anymore Gragas, flashes over Snoy to get away from him. Snoy deciding not to continue to chase with the backup coming from Wargods Trevor. Of course, a barrel coming in, not pushing them in the right direction, getting a clean escape coming from Wargods.
So it was a good job for Kaigu using that explosive cast mga kaibigan para mag-disengage dito. Nanganib ang buwan ni Trevor dito with that ignite coming from Snoy. He was able to escape. A very good job for Trevor dito with that gang coming from their team. He secured another kill sa nangyaring yun. Mapapansin mo, he was ignited by his opponent. Pero he didn't back down with the use of his skill dito. And with that knock up damage against his opponent, nagamit niya yung kanyang last breath. That gave him the advantage of killing a champion. And the support coming from John Lloyd Cruz with that stun coming from his champion. Incinerate against his opponent. They got another kill in the mid lane.
Yes, alright. Wargods stronger all alone here in the top lane. Looks like he'll be able to take down the first third of, or the second third of the game for our first third of Wargods, of course. There we go, first third for Wargods, and now it's one tower apiece for both teams. Wargods stronger, picking up a few more minions. Back here in the bottom lane now, we have Wargods, Ochi and Poi trying to pick up this large minion wave that's big pushing against the third, and Trevor, of course, now in the driver's seat here in the mid lane. Kaigu unable to engage him without his ultimate.
Alam mo, in the bottom lane, both players dito or both teams dito still sinesecure nila kanilang laning phase dito. Kung saan napapansin mo, they're more on sa paggawa ng mga CS lamang. Hindi sila nagiging aggressive, hindi sila nagiging sobrang maasim sa laban na to. They're like nagiging play safe lang sa laban.
That's right.
At sinesecure lang nila yung kanilang objective dito, especially sa paggawa ng mga CS. Kapag may nag-gank coming from the other teams, they will at least ang gagawin nila dito, mag-disengage lang kagad. Hindi nila kaya sabayan yung mga pangyayari dito, especially it was they're using Sphere and Morgana in the bottom lane. Ano mangyayari sa kanila, makukuhaan sila ng advantage knowing na naka-Blade of the Ruin na si EXO, and I think it's a wise decision for EXO getting the Blade of the Ruin. Yung mga kaibigan, nanganib ang buhay dito ng EXO with that exhausted mga kaibigan. Ginamit na ngayon ang assault and battery dito, get the life of one champion of Team Mineski. When they're still chasing Poi dito mga kaibigan, he was about to go down with that Void Assault. Yes, a shield once again from Jules dito. Ginamit na ngayon, stronger na kanyang Void Breaker. It's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of team ng Mineski sa team fight na yun. But once again, Team Wargods trying to gak the bottom lane dito. But no, they will get the turret instead.
Yes, looks like excellent rotation coming from Wargods. This is gonna be the third of the game for them. As you can see, all members of Wargods are grouping here in the bottom lane with only 2 members left of Mineski able to stop the push coming from Wargods. Looks like Vayne and the Katik should be joining the bottom lane soon, but right now, Snoy decided just to push the mid lane right now with nobody interrupting him. When Trevor decided to respond here, members of Wargods going back to base to pick up a few more items with all that gold they picked up recently.
Yes mga kaibigan, ang ating score ay 4-7. Naparaking advantage for team ng Wargods dito, getting 2 lives of team Mineski in the bottom lane and yung pagkuha nila ng turret sa bottom lane. Pero mga kaibigan, Team Mineski have to do something sa ginagawa performance ngayon ng Team Wargods, especially sa pag-secure nila kanilang objective dito. And mga kaibigan, Trevor trying to chase Snowy in the top lane. Will he be able to get the life of one champion of Team Mineski dito, but miss ang kanyang first kill mga kaibigan, and he have to disengage dahil sa pangyayari ngayon. Hanggang kaya from Team Mineski dito mga kaibigan, Kaigu uses explosive cast in the top lane mga kaibigan with that last minute from Trevor dito. Will he be able to secure one champion of Team Mineski, but it's a good turnaround for Team Mineski dito, getting the life of one champion mga kaibigan. Wargods, JLC on the top lane, trying to gank with that T-burst. Will he be able to secure another life of champion mga kaibigan? On the top lane dito, gank kaya from team members of Wargods. Yes, they got the life of Mineski. Wendell, no, mga kaibigan, makakatakas yata itong si Wendell. Pero with that minion, The last hit coming from Stronger dito. You got the life of Mineski Wendell in the top lane.
Yes, they already thought that actually that Kha'Zix was going to go down to the burn damage of the Timbers,
Yes.
but surprisingly, Kha'Zix still had a little HP and forced Stronger and Point to chase him down.
Yung Timbers ni Annie naka Hidden Sunfire. Kaya nasusunog yung kanilang kalaban dito sa paligid niya. Mga kaibigan, in the jungle dito, Kaigo, nanganganib pa kanyang buhay with that Vault Breaker from Stronger, pero nag-miss mga kaibigan, and they got the blue buff instead.
That's right. Alright, so it looks like actually they were spotted by the members of Mineski, like you said, the Clairvoyants. Of course, it was too late for them to continue challenging them for that blue buff. Right now, Trevor doing a really good job here in the mid lane, picking up a lot of CS for himself. He's now ahead of Gragas in terms of CS for the first time in the part of this game. And Annie still behind in CS until now compared to Ranked, but with the kills he has, and as you can see, he went for full damage magic penetration. He went for the, like you mentioned, the Haunting Guide, which you called a while ago, and the Void Staff to penetrate all the magic resistance of Mineski.
Alam mo, napakagandang item choice for Team ng Wargods dito mga kaibigan. Nakakita pa buhay ni Wendell dito with that burst damage ng Team Wargods dito. Didn't have the chance to at least use his sleep para makapag-disengage in the team fight. And another dragon for Team ng Wargods dito for the third time in this match against Team ng Mineski.
Yes, and I'm surprised. Mineski doesn't seem to be doing anything about what's happening right now. As you can see, they lost the dragon again, and they're not grouping up. Look, Renekton's going to the top lane. We've got Janna and Gragas here in the mid lane, trying to pick up a few CS for themselves. Ultimate waited on Stronger, but with no follow-up.
Exo mga kaibigan, 3 champion of Team Wargods dito ay nagabang sa kanya. And yes, they pick up another kill for in the jungle dito for team ng Mineski. Mga kaibigan, ang ating score ay 5-10 na. Wargods getting the second tier turret in the bottom lane.
Yes, it looks like Wargods is gonna go and win this game as long as they continue doing their push and teamwork. As you can
Mga
see.
kaibigan, medyo nagkamali dito si Wendell. Initiating for champion of Team Wargods dito. Nanganib ang buhay ni Trevor. Yes, you have to use his nice and nice Snowy. Trying to escape with that monsoon from Jules dito. Trevor was shoved down mga kaibigan. Pero with that body slam coming from Kaigu, he was about to get the life of 2 champion of Team Wargods. Pero they're getting the third tier turret mga kaibigan in the bottom lane. And the champion of Team Wargods will have to disengage sa nangyari team fight na yun.
That's right. Good job coming from Kaigu, saving his 2 teammates from certain death right now. And members of Wargods, pretty low, decide to go back to base to heal up and pick up a few more items before they continue their push strategy. Right, EXO already completing Blade of the Ruin King, including Phantom Dancer, and probably will build into another big item as soon as he picks up a few more CS in this game. Alright, so right now, looking at Mineski's scores, we see that the Kha'Zix has 3 kills right now with 4 deaths, while Kaigu on the Gragas has only picked up 1 kill and 3 assists. Of course, Rankton also with 1 kill and 1 assist right now, coming from the 3-man gank a while ago in the top lane on JLC, or on Trevor rather. Alright, so Ochi picking up the red buff from himself right now. Looks like members of Wargods are pretty spread out. As you can see, JLC catching EXO again. EXO being able to flash away, escaping from the burst damage from JLC. Jules using all the slow, but with a flash coming from JLC, picks up another kill on EXO. So as you can see, JLC being very aggressive right now, picking up kill after kill without any much problems right now.
And actually with this item, with Sorcerer's mga kaibigan, straight to siya na makatala dito. Pero mga kaibigan, top lane na nga naman buhay ni Snowy dito. Snowy goes down with that damage output from Trevor in the top lane. Mineski Wendell, nasa bush dito. You have to use his Void Assault para mag-disengage. Pero bind once again from Void dito to get in the level 1 champion of Team Wargods. Assault and battery in the bottom lane mga kaibigan. Kaigu, nanganganib ang kanyang boy with the red buff coming from Ochi. Double kill for his champion. It's a 3-4-1 exchange in favor of team ng Mineski. I mean, Wargods in the bottom lane. Pero
yes,
total of 4-4-2 or 4-4-1 for the team of Wargods.
It was a delayed ace since
Yes.
Vayne was able to respawn just before that last kill, and Wargods simply dominating Mineski right now. Now, Mineski can start to group up and try to pick up objectives. As you can see, they've only picked up 1/3 so far in this game, and Wargods slowly but surely picking up all the thirds of Mineski, and with this, they're pushing their gold lead to tremendous amounts right now. They have about 13,000 gold lead, or 12,000 gold lead over Mineski at this moment.
Ito yung maganda sa mga AD carries natin ngayon sa laban na to. EXO versus Ochi. hindi sila ganun ka-aggressive in the early part of the game. Hanggang sa mid-game, actually. Hindi sila nakakuha ng kills, hindi sila nakakuha ng deaths dito in the bottom lane. Pero ang nangyari dito, once na nagkaroon na ng ganks coming from team ng Wargods, mga kaibigan, ang ano buhay na Juice dito, burst damage from Wargods, J and C, he'll have to use his final hour para mag-engage, mga kaibigan. Have to disengage once again. Hanip sobra ang kanilang buhay sa paggamit lamang ng skill dito from John Lloyd Cruz with that hunting, guys, with the void stuff, especially this item, mga kaibigan, itong kanyang advantage sa kanya, especially yung kanyang magic penetration against his opponent. So hindi siya nakafocus ng sobra sa kanyang AP, pero he's most likely going for the magic penetration against his opponent. So I am thinking na yung next item niya dito na kukunin niya ay Abyssal Scepter.
Yes, actually magic penetration build on the Annie is pretty good since the skills of Annie already have high base damage, plus the bear will have more damage since, like you mentioned, parang meron siyang Sunfire Cape effect, which allows, the magic penetration allows them to do more damage.
Yes, mga kaibigan, 3 champion of Team Mineski trying to contest that Baron, pero ginamit ang explosive cast dito. Stronger na huli, mga kaibigan. Ginamit ang kanyang Void Breaker pero nag-miss. Mineski when they have to disengage na. Iwan si Ochi, mga kaibigan, with that support coming from Poise Sanity dito sa laban na ito. They have to disengage. Nanganib ang buhay ng Team Wargods dito. If ever na mag-initiate pa sila, hindi sila makakagawa ng paraan para manalo sa laban against team ng Wargods, I mean ng Mineski dito, since ang dahil pang buhay ng Team Mineski dito, pero they got the first third of this match in the mid lane.
Yes, good job coming from Wargods, deciding not to continue the chases. They knew that their lives were already too low and they've already burned some of their spells. Now, Mineski also burning some of their spells as well. As you can see, Renekton already using his dominance very early in the team fight. But since Wargods did not decide to continue engaging them, looks like the members of Wargods will be able to heal up and resume defending their base here in the mid lane. Kaiku's throwing a few more barrels. As you can see, Exo trying to take down the turret. Snowy being the front of the tanker mainline.
Ito na, mga kaibigan, John Lloyd Cruz have to initiate with that T-burst from Snowy dito. Kahit si Snowy, mga kaibigan, kahit ang Crocodile dito nanganib ang kanyang buhay with that burst damage by explosive gas, mga kaibigan. He got time of 1 champion. It's a 2-for-1 exchange, mga kaibigan, pero naging 3 na ito and they're still chasing 1 life of Team Mineski. Mukhang makukuha niya ang buhay ni Snowy, but they have to flash out and it's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of team ng Wargods.
Yes, it looks like Jules now getting caught by the Yasuo. Don't think he'll be able to escape from this. Yasuo doing a lot of damage. As you can see, he already has his core items, which is the Static Shiv and the Infinity Edge, giving him effectively almost 100% crit rate. And as you can see, doing different about 3 hits to be able to take down the Janna just now.
Alam mo, ito yung maganda kay Yasuo eh. Kaya sobrang lagi siyang binaban. Kasi yung kanyang Steel Tempest, kung gaano kalaki yung kanyang critical chance dito, possible din na mag-critical yung kanyang Steel Tempest dito. So if ever na makatama siya ng 2 champion or 3 champion against his opponent, especially pag nag-dive in siya, and with the use of that Steel Tempest, ang mangyayari dito, mag-critical yung kanyang damage output. So mahihirapan dito ng team ng Mineski na mag-initiate kay Trevor even though wala siyang tanky items dito. Ang kanyang item lamang dito na pang-defensive ay yung kanyang Giant's Bed. And I'm thinking na kukunin niya ngayon, it's either the Warmogs or Randuin's Omen.
Yeah, actually he might even go for the Blade of the Ruined King, as he's already almost completed that item already. As you can see, he already has the Bilga Water Cutlass and just a few more, about 1/8 I believe, gold. He should be able to complete that item. Now, like you said, Yasuo, with the crit passive he has, including the Static Shiv, could crit as well, which gives him even more burst damage. So he has lots of ways to use that critical crit possibility, and with the Infinity Edge, of course, it increases the crit damage that he'll be producing.
Mga kaibigan, Mineski getting the first dragon for their team. It is the 4th dragon in this match, mga kaibigan, and yes, they got that dragon, mga kaibigan, stronger. Initiated the team fight dito, hoping na may steal niya yung Baron na yun, dragon na yun, pero mga kaibigan, John Lloyd Cruz, nanganib pa kanyang buhay dito. With that T-burst, he have to use his Zonya Star Glass just in time para makapag-disengage, mga kaibigan. And yes, it's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of team ng Wargods, pero tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo, mga kaibigan, sa laban na ito. It was a 3-for-1 exchange at mukhang ipupush na nila ang mid lane to end this match versus the team ng Mineski.
That's right. Alright, so looks like 4 members still alive for Wargods. I think they may go for a Baron now, as you can see.
Yes, ito na sa wakas, matatapos na nila yung Baron na inasama-sama nila kanina pa sa laban nila against team ng Mineski dito.
That's right, and Trevor now being medyo maasin dito, as you can see, medyo sinusolo niya ang pag-push dito sa mid lane. Going straight in for Vayne and
Grabe si Trevor, mga kaibigan. Trevor's on fire, mga kaibigan. Hindi pala siya nasa fire, nasa hangin siya, mga kaibigan. It's a double kill for his champion. Getting the life of one champion man once again for Team Mineski dito. And it's a 3 kill for his champion. Makakuha nga ba siya dito ng quadra kill? Wendell lang, ano ba kanyang boy? Have to use his sleep para mapag-disengage. Hindi tumama kanyang Steel Tempest dito. At sumasayaw na lamang siya against team ng Mineski. 4th champion of Team Mineski can't do anything against kay Trevor dito. He have to use his last breath. And yes, it's an official quadra kill, mga kaibigan. He is now legendary. Nasa hangin pa rin siya, mga kaibigan. Pero with that stun coming from Renekton dito, he was shut down. Hindi siya nasa fire, kundi nandun siya sa hangin kasi Yasuo. Very good job for team ng Wargods.
Yes, Trevor showing out his skills against the members of Mineski. Mineski looks like a thrown in the surrender, realizing that there's nothing they can do, especially with this 15k gold lead and Baron buff team of Wargods. So congratulations, Wargods, for winning the first game of the day. Of course, we'll have a second match later on. Wargods will be switching to the blue side, while Mineski will be moving on to the purple side. Congratulations again to Wargods for winning the first game. Mineski, like I mentioned a while ago, they have a really strong lineup, strong picks, but never seem to have got the ball rolling. They weren't able to rotate properly, and because of that, Wargods was able to play smarter and play more aggressive, especially JLC, dominating the first few levels of the game.
In this team fight, mga kaibigan, Mineski versus team ng Wargods, maganda performance coming from the mid lane, especially si Kaigo dito against his opponent. Unfortunately, hindi siya ganun na na-utilize na maayos. We all know na sobrang effective ng gank dito comes from Stronger. With that 4-0-11 score, hindi siya namatay sa mga pangyayaring counter gank coming from Wendell dito. Even though nakuha ni Wendell yung kanyang blue buff, yung pangalawang blue buff niya kanina, still Stronger find his own way para manalo sa laban nila against your opponent. At yes, I would give, syempre, yung ating MVP award for JLC on the top lane. Mapapansin mo, even though he's a champion na, yes, alam natin lahat na yung mga champion usually sa mga top lane dito, dapat nag-stay lang sa kanilang lane. Focus sa pag-push. Pero nangyari dito, JLC, parang buong mapa, nandun siya.
He helped his mid laner, he helped his jungler, he even helped the bottom lane at one time. He even took out Vayne and Janna by himself. So, really good job coming from John Lloyd Cruz, of course, being the MVP again of this match. Very strong performance this season. I have a feeling that if ever we have an MVP season, it's gonna be JLC.
And also, mapapansin ko lang dito for the team of Wargods versus team ng Mineski ay yung kanilang objective. Yes, ganun sinabi natin dito. Objective-wise, Wargods have the advantage against his opponent. And yet again, congratulations team Wargods winning the game against team Mineski. At sa lahat ng mga naghihintay dyan, meron pa tayong laban mamaya sa pagitan ulit ng team Mineski versus team ng Wargods. Bago ang lahat, I'm GG.Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
You're watching the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season. Pero bago ang lahat, Jay, if ever na mawalan ka ng shells or halimbawa gusto mong bumili ng champion, gusto mong bumili ng skins, may sale tayo ngayon pero wala kang RP.
Yes,
meron tayong e-pins from GameX or sa Smart.
Yes,
if ever na meron kang Smart, isa kang Smart, TNT or Sun Cellular subscriber, pwede mong gawin to. With just using your load lang, kaya mong makabili ng RP dito or ng shells mo para makakuha ng skin na gusto mo.
Alright, so paano
Visit
ba yan?
epins.gamix.ph and then you will choose the game you are playing. Siyempre, after mo piliin yung game na nilalaro mo, you're playing League of Legends,
Siyempre,
you will choose the denomination you want. Halimbawa, gusto mo na 50 na shells, gusto mo na 25 na shell. After mo piliin yung shell na gusto mo, click add to cart and you will receive the confirmation code. After, ilalagay mo muna pala yung number mo. After mo mamili nung game. And then yung denomination na gusto mo. Ilalagay mo yung cellphone number mo, Smart, Sun, or TNT. And after mo lagay doon yung number mo, you will receive the confirmation code. And after nun, you will send it to 3161. After mo send sa 3161, you will receive the e-pin, yung kailangan mong e-pin dito. Hindi yung e-pin na meron tayo na tong e-pin, kundi e-pins for the GameX. Maraming salamat GameX sa napakagandang feature sa ating mga gamers dito na hindi na nahihirapan sa pagbili ng kanilang mga RP.
Sobrang convenient siya kasi hindi ka nalalabas. Kahit sa bahay ka lang or nasa computer shop at walang loading shop. Just use your Smart, Sun Cellular or Talk and Text,
Talk and Text
load and may RP ka na.
Pero syempre dapat may load ka kasi kung wala kang load,
wala kang skin, wala kang RP.
Wala kang RP. So again, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nag-tune in ngayong gabing ito. Maya-maya meron pa tayong laban ulit after a few minute break. Mga kaibigan, I'm GG.Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
You're watching the Pro Gaming Series 2014 Spring Season Road to Garena Premier League. Kita-kits tayo ulit after a few minute break.